Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to Wiz Motorsports Super League Season 3, round number 2. It's Kyalami, one of my absolute personal favourites. Cannot wait to get into this one this evening. My name, of course, Double O Raven. I'll be bringing you all the action from this week's race. As I say, it's round number 2. Kyalami, one of the absolute jewels in the motor racing crown. Only just got back on the motorsport calendar, of course. Back in 2019, but has not looked back since they did. Speaking of not looking back, Roberto Ricci, he didn't look back from pole position last week in the race. He brought himself home a full haul of points, 105 for winning the race and 2 points for the fastest lap in the race as well. Evan Cairns put up quite the battle, came home in second. Rounding out the podium last week, it was Nigel O'Brien bringing himself home 94 points. Dean Power got fourth, with Jake Rose finishing in 5th place, giving him 5th in the championship, of course. Alec Milchin and Coleman Corkery finishing 6th and 7th. Gavin Taylor and Kim Sine 8th and 9th. And 10th at the moment in the standings, Teru Jacob, 72 points, 10th place. And he'll be looking to continue on from there, no doubt. Now the drivers are out. And they are qualifying. It's a 15-minute qualifying session and a 30-minute sprint race. As I said, we're here at Kyalami 2019. Got its way back onto the motor racing calendar, or at least with the FIA. 2.8 miles long. It sits in the South African hills. As we can see, the drivers this evening, it will be a night-time race. So cold temperatures, poor visibility, but a phenomenal track. I don't think you'll find many people that would disagree with that one. If I can just quickly, there is Ricci there. Oh, full sideways. In the Ferrari. Let's jump on board and do a quick lap. He's actually just into Sector 2 here. This is Sunset that he's coming through at the moment. Very easy to run wide there. As we can see, Roberto using every single millimetre of the available track. And again, on the exit as well. Down through the S's. Apologies, that's frozen at my end. Nope, still running there. Perfect. Down through the S's and then down, of course, the mine shaft. One of the fastest parts of the track. This left-hand kink here, absolutely flat out. Most of the cars will be bottoming out as they make it to the bottom there. Then it is into Crocodile. And then this corner here, Cheetah, where the drivers will be hoping to cheat that inside sausage curb. One clip on that and you could easily end up in that pit entrance on the left-hand side there. Round the last corner. And with Ngawe in our rear view mirror, it's across the start-finish line. We've got Rose, who's set a time, running at 40.377. Ricci has set a time, 141.3. He was a lot quicker than that in practice, I can tell you. So that purely a sight of lap as he comes through Crowthorne and up through the Junkside sweep. Of course, Crowthorne, turn number 1, certainly invites 5 in. Definitely no more than 2 wide on the way out. And indeed, yes, it is Sunset that he was in. This is the problem when this course is in the dark. It does get a bit confusing. But yes, it is Sunset. That's where we joined him last time round. So that's pretty much a full lap. We can see just what type of visibility the drivers are going to be dealing with. Very good lap at the moment, but on pole position, it is Jake Rose at the moment. Nathan is in 2nd place, O'Brien 3rd, Lingard in 4th, Ricci in 5th place. Rafa Scullion in the Porsche in 7th. There's Coleman Corkery in 7th, Paskin in 8th, Dean Powers in 9th at the moment, with DeLucia in 10th place. Is Gavin Taylor currently in 11th. Brian and Youssef both got time set, making them 12th and 13th. Still got 10 drivers to set times. And there we go. That is the game sound up and running once again. So yes, 14 drivers have all set times. Nigel O'Brien and Jason Lingard. Both looking quick. Lingard out of the last corner. He's going to take a couple of positions here. Yes, indeed. In fact, almost tied with Kai Nathan time-wise. Both of them. Kai Nathan, sorry. Both of them 0.8 of a second off the pace. DeLuca pops himself up into 4th. O'Brien now 3rd. Lingard and Nathan already down to 5th and 6th. Scullion 7th. Brierton has set a time as well. Kyalami, sorry, there we go. Kyalami gets in on the action. 1 minute 43.3 at the minute for Kyalami. Kyalami, yep, finding himself 14th place. He is at the moment. Still got a couple of drivers to set times. One of those being Evan Cairns. He is about to cross the line though and set himself a time. 7th place within a second. And as he was running down the order, Roberto Ricci establishing his dominance, 4/10 ahead of the rest of the field. And he is fast approaching some of the times I saw him set in practice. Times might vary slightly due to track temperature and condition. This one isn't going to be faster. Ian Paskin, on the other hand, Team WRT, he is coming towards the mine shaft. He's got a handy bit of time in his pocket. So too, Gavin Taylor. Not too far behind for the Wiz Motorsport team. He has designs on the top 10, that is for sure. Ian as well. He's got about half a second as he's coming into the final sector. If he can keep this clean through Cheetah and avoid that sausage curve we can see in the foreground there. All over the grass, mounting those curbs fully rounding Galway. On to the start-finish straight, still looking very quick indeed, and this is going to be a good time from Ian. Up to 8th position. So only up a few positions, but definitely an improvement on the time overall. Finds himself 1.1 seconds off the pace in 8th. We've just had big revelation. Another driver known for his modesty for the St. Locke Racing team. Finds himself in 13th position after popping in a 42.5. Giuseppe Sciotto. He's popped in a time as well, 15th. He finds himself at the minute. Yevtushik in 18th there, Takar in 19th. Yusuf now down in the 20th position. With all the change in Evan Cairns up into 5th. There we go there. But it's still that 4/10 of a gap that Ricci has. No improvement at the moment in the deltas of anyone inside the top 15. Stuart Brierton though, he does have a lot of time in his pocket. He's 3.8 off the pace as he comes down the mine shaft. 5 minutes left of the qualifying session, so we're certainly getting to the business end. The drivers will be keen to put good numbers in here. It is definitely a track where it definitely lends itself to overtaking, sorry. So we will see plenty of action tonight. So qualifying by no means the be-all and end-all of the result this evening. But still, it is definitely better to start further up. And Brierton is going to take a couple of positions here, at least. Big improvement on a time, though. Over a second he is bringing with him. And he did get that second. It's only good enough to move him up 2 places then. 16th for Brierton at the moment. Cairns looking for an improvement as well. He's got a bit of time. Is this going to be enough? It's up to 4th place then. Almost identical time with Kai Nathan once again. Both of these drivers half a second off the lead at the moment. Dean Power looking for an improvement as well. This could see him sneak inside the top 10 if he could bring this home. Although he's just lost a bit of time on that exit coming down the hill into Cheetah. Rubbernecking left and right to see exactly. Yeah, no, he's still carrying over half a second. So this could see him, as I say, pop in between Paskin and Scullion if he brings this one home. Found a bit more time there as well, actually, towards the last corner. Back down to half a second across the line. And it is indeed 9th position then, bang in the middle of Paskin and Scullion. Scullion now 1.7 off the pace along with Taylor, 10th and 11th. So there is a 4/10 gap between first and second. Between second and 7th, only 4/10 separating those 6. So definitely close in amongst that chasing pack. Coleman Corkery looking to throw his hat in the ring for top 10 contention at the moment as well. He is just coming towards Ngawi himself. That's Cheetah. Then into Ngawi past the pit entrance. The drivers again will be hoping not to see the inside of the pit lane during this evening's race. It is a sprint race. Across the line. Oh, and that's not the exit he was looking for in the BMW then. It will be an improvement, but not as well. Oh, well, yeah, he's still in there. He needed another 4/10. He did look like he was going to be about 1.4 off, 1.5, so still posted a fairly representative time. Dolukia and Lingard both trying to find themselves some time as well. At the moment, down at the bottom of my screen here, we've got Milchin has managed to join as well. Excellent. 24 drivers that we are up to. David Sepp, no time set at the moment. And just as I say that, Alex Milchin is not in the server anymore. I did notice a couple of drivers having slight connection issues, so hopefully Milchin can get that one fixed. He had a good first round, brought himself some good points, finished 6th place. It's a haul of 84 points going forward for the 6th round championship. No drop round either, so no safety net there for the drivers. As I say, it's a 6 round series. We've got Mizano coming up on March the 21st. Then there will be a 1 week break before we're back on April the 4th for Watkins Glen. Then it is Donington Park. And finally finishing up at the Nürburgring. Here comes Z-Tech for OZ E-Racing. And he does set a time. With 1 minute 30 to go. He will have time to set another time. So we'll see if he can find any improvements. At the moment, Pascal Delucia looking for improvement. Evan Cairns just on the cusp as well. Timing deltas occasionally going into that 1/10 positive and then flatlining at 0 again. So he may go a bit quicker. Delucia just struggling there. Oh no, he's found that 10th once again. He's at the moment not quite enough to improve on position. Will be a better time, quicker time. Oh yeah, he's got a lot of time into the last corner. He found a couple of 10s. He's dropped him. Is he going to... Oh, he has. He's gone past Cairns and Nathan. And in fact, to look at Cairns and Nathan, all 3 of them. To say they're near identical times is a bit of an understatement. We're at 40 point. 490, 492. And then 520. So a quarter of a 10th separating 5th and 6th. 8,000 separating 4th and 5th. And only 400 separating 3rd and 4th. Phenomenally close between all these drivers. Ricci's in the pits and he's done with qualifying too. So too Rose and O'Brien. It doesn't look like anyone is going to challenge that top spot. Cairns, Deluca, Nathan is where the battle is at. Nathan coming down the mine shaft. qualifying session about to end. DeLuca, Cairns, Nathan is the current order for these three. Oh, DeLuca's just gone red. And Cairns is just dead, so he's going to cross the line first. He's carrying the most time out of these three drivers at the moment. Still got some times being set to Carr. Looks like he's going quicker as well. Don't think it's going to be enough to improve his position though. It is close between himself and Yevtushik. Cairns crossing the line though. Does he improve on his time? He does. He's provisionally gone third, and O'Brien is in the pits. So he's gone third. DeLuca, no improvement there. And Nathan comes in to the pits as well. Kyalami still out on track. Milchin has made it back in, so we do have 24 drivers to start the race. He hasn't set himself a time. We see some flashing lights from Kyalami as he crosses the line, but it does look like that is it, done and dusted. 2 purple sectors in pole position for championship leading Roberto Ricci in the Ferrari. Love to see it. 1 minute 39.980, the only driver to go under 1 minute 40. In the 1 minute 40s though, Rose, Cairns, O'Brien, DeLuca, Nathan, Lingard, all with times between 1 minute 40 and 1 minute 41. And Nathan, the 1 minute 40, 1 minute 41.1 for Paskin, Coleman, Corkery, and Dean Power, rounding out the top 10. Squeezed just outside the top 10 by less than a tenth. Rafa Scullion there in 11th. Taylor and Revelation, 12th and 13th. Milan and Kyalami, 14th and 15th. Brighton and Sepp got a time set. He's going to start up in 17th position. Skoto starting in 18th. Takar and Yevtushik, 19th and 20th. McSweeney is going to start in 21st with Yusuf in 22nd place. Zatek in 23rd. Deportier, I believe, is not in the race. That's an earlier attempt. Has been kicked from the server, or hasn't been able to connect to the server, sorry. And Milchin hopefully has survived and will make the start of the race. It will be row number 12 and 24th position. Let's just bring up while the drivers get themselves set. As I've mentioned, it is Kyalami, 1961. This little beauty was built. It was actually on the complete opposite side of the mountain it currently rests on. It was 2.5 miles long. Then in 1988 had a bit of an overhaul and started to come together as the track we know today. A couple of extra changes in 1992 and then 2008. And the 2.8 mile beauty we see before us today came into existence. As I said, there was a turbulent political past in South Africa, to say the least, but International Motorsport did return there. It was November 2019 when the SRO brought GT3s back to the circuit for a 9-hour race. And it was run, of course, as part of the Intercontinental GT Challenge, which is, of course, the same DLC that's brought the track to ACC. So phenomenal to see it make its appearance. I absolutely love racing at this track myself. One of my personal favourites, on the odd occasion when I do actually get some racing done. But we're going to see a cracker here this evening. Ricci certainly in the driving seat.
20 seconds.
He's taken all the honours so far this season with the inaugural race. Took pole position in qualifying, took the race win, and took the fastest lap. So a fairly dominant performance, to say the least. Evan Cairns with a very handy second place, starting on the second row of the grid this evening. Ferrari, Porsche, Ferrari, Honda, and then another 2 Ferraris. So 4 Ferraris in the top 10, 2 Porsches, an Audi, a Honda, and an Aston Martin. So quite the mix of cars. As we can to see the drivers begin their warm-up lap. And that will be the key on this lap due to the late night and the colder temperatures. It will be Operation Brake Warm to get themselves through this lap. Oh, it's a short start formation, of course. There's the green lights. We're already away, of course. Straight drag into turn number 1. And it looks like Lingard's lingering ever so slightly. No, sorry, not Lingard. It is Nathan just ahead into turn number 1. Oh, that is a big look up the inside there. Evan Cairns almost comes a cropper. Oh, big wiggle on the outside for O'Brien. He has lost momentum massively up into turn number 2. We've got the Ferraris closing right in on him. As you can see in the background, 2 wide all the way through. The field have all made it beautifully through. And in fact, if we jump on... Oh, no, we've not Nigel O'Brien. Oh, no, Magic Youssef, sorry, has somehow come... Oh, he didn't start the race. So Youssef didn't start the race, but we can see the start down at the back. All nice and clean. The full pack making it through. The replay did go a bit further back than the plan, but yes, so we've got Youssef, who did not start the race. Dean Power absolutely did in his BMW. So it was all very clean there. Up at the front though, oh, we've missed an overtake. It is Jake Rose who's got the lead of the race from Roberto Ricci. I've missed that one looking at the replay. Youssef. Also, you'd actually got the job done into turn number 2. Just the Deltas hadn't quite updated yet. So it is Rose who took the lead of the race straight away then. Ricci, apologies, Jake. Did not see that one in the dark with the headlights. But it's Rose who's taking the lead of the race. It's Cairns now. Still in 3rd place. O'Brien in 4th. Paskin in 5th with Kai Nathan in 6th position. Lingard in 17th. Power in 8th. But is Rose there still at the end of lap number 1 leading the way. He's got Ricci all over the back of him across the start-finish line into turn number 1. He is definitely going to have himself a look over his rear spoiler. You can see Cairns and O'Brien. So these 4 breaking away from the rest of the pack, being led by Ian Paskin in 5th and Nathan in 6th into turn number 1 and out again. And it is Ricci still in 2nd. Rose fended off the attack. Ricci takes the purple lap at the end of lap number 1, as you would expect. You can see him all over the back of the race leader. Drive through for speeding at the start, and Youssef's been done for speeding at the start as well. So not a great start to the race there. Rafa Scullion having a great start. He is up to 10th position then. So he's just got an overtake done on teammate Taylor. Still very close up at the front now, as we can see Nigel O'Brien trying to get himself onto that podium, and Roberto Ricci trying to get himself back onto the top spot of the podium. We're just making our way to the mine shaft in lap number 2, and it is Ricci in the Ferrari hunting down the Porsche at the moment. He is right on the back of him there, primely poised to get himself an overtake down towards the mine shaft. As I say, the full speed left-hander, then the heavy braking into the almost hairpin-like. Oh, and he's just made it around there. I did think that was going to get very close. Ricci with beautiful control for Raggioli Racing in that Ferrari. Here they go through Chia. Oh, and he's clipped that sausage curb. Absolutely 100% not what you want to be doing, especially when you've got Ricci closing in into the last corner into Ngawi. I think that might have caught Ricci out as well. He's actually lost a little bit of pace, a little bit of time, space there, sorry. To Rose ahead of him after Rose had that little contact with the sausage curb, and we can see just how much that slowed them up. It's Evan Cairns who clocks the fastest lap on lap 2. Another Ferrari, and he is absolutely on a tear down through the rest of the field. It is still Nathan in 6th, Lingard 17, Power still in 8th, but he does look slightly quicker than Lingard at the moment. Coleman Corkery in 9th, Rafa Scullion up in 10th place, Gavin Taylor in 11, hanging on to Rafa's rear spoiler there. Then it is Stephen Mullen in 12th place, Yev Tushik in 13th, Kyalami in 14th, with Revelation in 15th position, Scuoto in 16th. We've then got DeLuca. DeLuca now finds himself down in 17th, so definitely involved in some early doors. Alec Milchin is disconnected from the server again, unfortunately. McSweeney in 19th, Zatek, Sepp and Takar all still with us. And Youssef, I think has rejoined because he's coming up on the boards twice, but that's okay. And Ricci, there we can see just how close he's getting again. He really is forward, looking for that position. Cairns is in the lead now. So let's watch what happened here then. Down towards the S's, this is Jake Rose, who is still leading the way. There's been a big change into Sunset. Oh, and I tell you, for all the world, it looks like it's Ricci that's lost momentum there. Evan Cairns up the inside. He's opened out in the corner exit. Oh, and there's been a big wiggle. There's been a bit of a contact, and that's exactly what happened then. So not quite the space to get the manoeuvres fully done. Bit of a wiggle on the exit, and it's Evan Cairns that says thank you very much. And Jake Rose now under all kinds of pressure from Nigel O'Brien. He is going to lose this position here into the mineshaft to go side by side. The Honda beautifully getting it done on the brakes. The Porsche with a wider line as well, so less centrifugal force, more acceleration potential. But down at the hill, the Honda absolutely gets that done. So while we're having a quick run down the field, oh, he's going to have a look. No, he's not. He's decided against that. So it is Rose now in fourth place. O'Brien in third. Ricci still in second. And Evan Cairns has catapulted his way up to the front of the field. DeLucia looking to get some overtakes done against Big Revelation. And I think he's just about got that done. Almost looking at a switchback there. Didn't quite make that one stick though. He does still have the Audi ahead of him. Very close pack there is Kyalami. Not too far behind either, down into the S's. And in fact, he's going to make a move on Scuoto up the hill, surely. He's got a much better run towards the mineshaft. He's going to have the outside line. Heavy on the brakes there. Turns into the mineshaft. Oh, and plenty of action ahead is Scuoto. Let's jump on board and have a look. Three-way battle just ahead. That is Scuoto, DeLuca and Big Revelation. Positions changing there. Oh, and we've got a car off track as I'm looking at the timing data. Kyalami makes his way through. Scuoto is the driver who was off track there. And it's going to be Brighton looking to go round the outside if he can. They're going to be side by side coming towards Cheetah. That sausage on the inside could claim a life here. Oh, both of them take wide avoiding action to make sure they miss that sausage curve, but they're going to widely avoid the positions that they had. It's going to be a 2x2 round the last corner. As we can see, the two Wiz Motorsport cars say thank you very much and make their way through. You have Cusick now dropping down the order, but Scuoto down to 18th position. McSweeney and Briarton both making hay while the sun shines. Wow, that was a big send in the Porsche. Is that a Ferrari in the background? That's Scuoto in the Ferrari. It was. He's got his full endurance lights on. The McLaren ahead of him doesn't. But yeah, that was a big send there, not from the Porsche. It was the Ferrari looking to get back those positions. Let's check back up at the front though and have a look at this battle for the podium positions. Lingard and Nathan 6 and 7. It's still very close, and in fact we can see Paskin there about to get involved with O'Brien and Rose, so it's a three-way battle for the final podium position, while Ricci and Cairns still battle out for the lead. Paskin in the Audi looking to get involved, as I say, in this podium battle. Honda, Porsche, Audi, and a Ferrari and an Aston following very closely behind into Cheetah. All five cars on screen making it through, and the drivers in the back as well, past the pit entrance into Ngawe. It is still O'Brien leading the hunt for the final podium position. Rose following very closely indeed. Paskin and Nathan right in the background there into turn number one. Oh, Porsche thought about it there. He was a bit far back. Looked to see if he could force a defensive move from O'Brien. O'Brien standing firm on the racing line, firmly holding on to third spot. Ricci still looking to get a hold of that top spot of the race. Started in pole position, lost it. Lost the lead of the race into turn one. Completely unsighted by the commentator. And then, during an overtake attempt, we saw Rose have a bit of a wiggle, and again Rose dropping down the order there. Here he is just behind the Honda. At this point he is in Oh, and he's lost it completely on the exit, and he almost claimed an Audi and a Ferrari as he did. Moves back over. He's got another car making his way through as well. So past Rose in the Porsche, not having the type of race you want to write home about. He's gone from leading the race down to 7th position in the space of 4 laps. So he will definitely be looking to get back up the positions. Good corner by him there. He's now got Dean Power and Coleman Corkery closing in. So this battle for the top 10 honours really is closing in on some of the drivers. O'Brien, he'll certainly be grateful for the goings on behind him. He now finds himself in 3rd place with Ian Paskin a full 2 seconds behind. That is then very quickly Nathan Rose Lingard, and in fact Dean Power going side by side with his teammate, and Rose, is he about to lose another position? They're side by side, got the inside line, and it is Lingard. And it's difficult to tell because they're both Wiz Motorsport cars, but yeah, Jake Rose still in the lead there. Lingard has been overtaken though. It's Dean Power. Dean Power has got himself ahead there. No, he's not. Yeah, no, so it's Lingard still in 7th place. Genuinely difficult to tell when in these lighting conditions when the car have got the same W on the roof, just exactly which one is which. But it is Lingard who's still in 7th as Dean Power looking to pull one over on him. He's got 8th place. Colin Corkery still very close to this battle as well in that 9th position. Scuotto trying to get his way past Yev Tushik as well at the moment. 18th place he finds himself. Nathan getting very close. We have... Hello everyone in the chat, by the way. Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Enjoy the racing. Should be a close race. It will indeed. And it has been so far. I've actually missed a couple of overtakes early doors, such as the action and the lighting conditions. But the racers are cracking on. Rose back up to 6th then. At one point, completely top of the pile. In fact, Nathan, we're going to have a look into turn 1 potentially. Long drag, as I say, turn number 1 certainly invites 5 wide in. Plenty of room to get the overtake done. It's the exit where the track really does close in. DeLucia with a stop-go 30-second penalty. So that was after serving a drive-through. He's picked himself up a stop with 30-second for speeding in the pit lane. So DeLucia's race going from bad to worse as well. Especially after his result last week. He'll be looking to back that up with another good points haul this week, with 21st at the minute and a long way to go to catch up to the rest of the field. And in fact, as we're watching in front, we can have a look and see there's Rose in the background as well. So Nathan perfectly sandwiched between Paskin and Rose at the moment as they head up towards the mine shaft. Very close to the Audi. Oh, the Audi's run a little bit wide there. Has he got it done down the mine shaft? He has indeed then. So that is Nathan getting his nose in front. He's now up into 4th position. And it looks like the Audi of Paskin is going to come right back into him. So too Rose. Look how much later he is on the brake. Full send into the gap created by the overtake. And Rose with a beautiful move to get himself back up to 5th position then. Paskin losing out 2 positions in 2 corners. And into Ngawi, it is going to be Nathan in that 4th position. Rose back up to 5th. Paskin now in 6th place with Lingard in 17th. Power still in 8th. And in fact, Paskin not done with the battle, and yet he's gone right back round the outside of Rose. Rose got the apex into turn number 1. The Audi looking to open the corner up and try and get as much momentum on exit, and almost loses out to Lingard in the background then. Up at the front, well, this has been going on. Roberto Ricci now finds himself 6 tenths behind Evan Cairns. He was consistent within 4 tenths since Cairns took over. Now finding himself with a 6 tenths gap to overcome. Certainly got the pace, but Cairns 2, no slouch in the Ferrari. Definitely a great car around this track. So it's going to be a titanic battle between those two. Only 15 minutes left of the race. We're almost at the halfway mark already. And there's been a fair amount of action to see ourselves through. The big story, really, Jake Rose took the lead of the race into turn number 1. We've seen him make a couple of mistakes down as far as 8th position. And now finds himself back up into 5th. He's got Ian Paskin and Jason Lingard not too far behind either. Dean Power, Coleman, Corkery 8th and 9th. Rafa Scullia rounding out the top 10 with his teammate Gavin Taylor, who he put a handy overtake on early doors in the race. Finds himself in 11th place, Milan in 12th. It's Revelation in 13th place. Making sure we don't see any overtakes as I run down the order again. There's Bryant in 15th, McSweeney in 16th. You have Tushik in 17th position, himself and Scuoto having themselves a great battle as well. Takar is in 19th. Zetek is in the pits and coming into a complete stop just short of his box. He has now stopped, and Alec Milchen bringing up the rear. It says he's 8 laps down, but he is having connection issues, so it is great to see him doing his absolute best to make it to the end of the race. Currently 22nd. We have had a couple of disconnects from the server, unfortunately, but these are some of the issues that do plague. Ooh, Roberto Ricci back to within 0.2 of a second. So down into the S's. The two Ferraris there with a 3.4 second gap, and in fact an Equilibria is 3.4 seconds back from 3rd to 4th. So despite them being so close to one another and battling away, they have extended the gap over the rest of the field. Ricci slightly later on the brakes, gets a really good turn and run down at the mine shaft. He's using all the slipstream that's available to him into the left-handed kink before they come towards Cheetah. Into the hairpin. Ricci opening up the corner as much as possible. Some beautiful driving by both of these drivers. Cairns holding it perfectly on the line, and Ricci doing everything he can to make himself as large as possible in Cairns' rear view mirror. In fact, you can see there on the screen just how close Ricci is getting. We've got another potential overtake in the background as well. Stephen Mullen now trying to get involved with the Wiz Motorsports pairing of Taylor and Scullion. And DeLuca has been disqualified for speeding in the pit lane. He's coming to serve a stop-go 30-second penalty, and he has repeated the offence, which has disqualified him from the race. So that is an unfortunate one for DeLuca. I'm not sure if perhaps his pit limiter didn't work, but that is an early bath for DeLuca. As I say, he got a good result in race number 1, no points in race number 2, no drop round in the series. So this result will stand for DeLuca in the Ferrari, unfortunately. Still watching the battle for the lead of the race. Corkery, Lingard and Power as well. They're having themselves a great little battle still with Paskin. As you can see down through the S's, just ahead of them, Rose, who is back up to 5th. And there's Nathan in 3rd, in 4th, sorry, Brian in 3rd place. But then Ricci and Cairns, the cameraman, struggling to keep up. These two are going so quickly at the front of the field. Is Ricci just biding his time then? That's 19 minutes. We are into the race, and he's only led for 300 yards after taking pole position by 0.4 of a second. It's certainly been an event-filled race for Roberto this time around. Won it handily last week. Certainly got a battle on his hands if he's going to take the top spot this week. He has got the fastest lap of the race so far. I'm sure the 2 points, no consolation whatsoever if he doesn't get that spot on the top. But it is Evan Cairns that he's up against, and Evan, absolutely no slouch behind the wheel of any car. And in this Ferrari at Kyalami, he's putting in a beautiful masterclass up at the front, showing how to hold at the front of a race. Defend without losing any time, and also, yeah, again, not leave any space for Ricci, who we know very quick. Oh, a lot of kick up there from the gravel around the side down into the S's once again. The two Ferraris dueling out. Such a beautiful course to drive in this car. The Ferrari, my car of choice. Kyalami, definitely one of my tracks of choice, and I can confirm this thing really handles beautifully around this course, as is being demonstrated. I'd said that the gap was up to 3.4 seconds, these two battling. They were managing to sneak ahead of the rest of the pack. O'Brien doing his best to catch back up now underneath the 3-second mark. Oh, and Roberto Ricci trying to go round the outside there. Could not say Roberto Ricci quick enough for my own good there. Absolutely stumbled out. Neither of these guys stumbled though. Kept that nice and neat, no contact. Less than 10 minutes to go. As Evan Cairns crossing the line to start lap number 12 in first place. Roberto Ricci in second. Nigel O'Brien within 3 seconds in third place. It's Nathan fourth, Rose in fifth, Lingard in sixth, Power in seventh, Corkery in eighth, Paskin down in ninth position, and Rafa Scullion now in 10th place, still ahead of Gam Taylor, and Mulan in 12th place. Paskin, yeah, so he's lost a couple of positions there, but we're going to have to keep an eye on this battle up at the front. These two separated, as we can see, by a quarter of a second. And at the moment it is Ricci who does have the fastest lap of the race. 1 minute 40.4. Almost half a second quicker than anyone else out on track at the moment. Certainly that's the deficit he's got over Cairns' his fastest lap. Cairns in full defensive mode at the moment though. 8 minutes to go. Oh, he's having a look, is he? It seemed like a bit of consideration was given there to a little look up the inside. Nothing doing as they come down the mine shaft. Rose still looking for an improvement on his position as well. He is closing in on Nathan in that fourth place. Paskin, in fact, is he? He is still chasing Coleman Corkery. There's Coleman there. He's got Dean Power still ahead, so these three still very close. Paskin, you would guesstimate the quicker out of the three. Can he get himself ahead of the two of them? Oh, the BMW Corkery there, right out on that gravel once again. Seen a lot of drivers using that width of the track into turn number one. Cairns and Ricci still battling away. Cairns still fending off the ever-advancing Ricci into turn number 3. Oh, and look how close he's got into Sunset. They're going to surely be side by side here. Cairns, you can see, is losing ground. Ricci around at the outside. Nope. He knows that would have been a difficult one. It would certainly be a big ask to go side by side through there. Backs right out of it, but he's certainly signalling to Cairns at every single opportunity his full intent to retake the lead of the race as and when he can. And down into the SS and up towards the mine. Once again, it's Ferrari on Ferrari action. Ricci taking a slightly different line here just to give himself a bit more room on the brakes. You see two completely different lines that they take through. One defensive, one doing what he can to maintain that gap. Looking for any chink in Cairns' armour that he can see. Round on the apex beautifully for both drivers. Is he going to get a look this time into turn number 1? They're looking to keep it nice and neat through here once again, avoiding the sausage beautifully. Into Ngawe. Oh, Ricci very close there. Has he got the exit he needed? Cairns in the early phase seems to be pulling away. Ricci pulling out with the slipstream. Pulls across, pulls out with the slipstream, and again pulling right over to the left hand side and avoiding using the slipstream. I'm obviously missing something here. That was a prime opportunity to go side by side into turn number 1. He certainly looked like he got the better exit, but he definitely made two distinctive moves to get himself out of the slipstream, and now find that gap stretching massively. This could potentially be the biggest gap we've seen between first and second for the entire race, and it is 0.8 of a second. almost a second now between the two, so I'm not sure what was going on there with Ricci. Definitely can't be a tyre issue. I know that being in the slipstream can be detrimental to your tyres, but in a 30-minute race with drivers of this talent, you would not think that would be a consideration. Oh, Power having a look up the inside. Oh, Corkery. Has he been overtaken? It's Corkery in 8th and Power in 9th place then. Sorry, Power in 7th. Corkery in 8th. Paskin still in 8th, so still very close here. Corkery and Power trading positions as well. Rose still all over the back of Nathan. Looking to get that 4th place back again. And in fact, Rafa Scullion looking very quick as well. Although I think he's just been overtaken by Taylor, so those two have re-swapped positions. So the move is already done by then. So Taylor did get the position back that Rafa took early in the race. So the inter-team bragging rights changing hands once again. It'll now be a charge to the finish. Only a few laps left to go. Nathan and Rose still very close. Of course, this is replay footage that we're watching at the moment. We'll jump straight back on. Oh, and there is a McLaren gone a bit wayward. Is that Brighton? Oh, it's McSweeney down in 19th, just blue flag, getting himself out of the way. And DeLuca again can't quite go over that. Disqualified for speeding in the pit lane, multiple offences. And yeah, that's seen him removed from the race. Ricci's closed right back up again. Look how close he is once again. The two Ferraris once again absolutely inseparable. We've got less than 4 minutes to go. So that should be at least 3 more laps for the drivers to contest. Once again up towards the mine shaft. Which line? Cairns taking the slightly wider entrance this time. Oh, and that was slightly inevitable. Just the way the two drivers took that corner. And it is the Honda of O'Brien that says thank you very much. And he is going to get himself the lead of the race. So here it is from his point of view. Coming down the S, as you can see, there's a clear gap between himself and the lead too. He has done well to close back in at 3.4 seconds. As he comes over the crest of the hill, he sees the contact. Manages to make his way, thread his way through that gap and into the lead of the race. So once again, we've seen a change at the top of the field. Ricci led the race for about 50 yards there. So it's about 350 yards in total. The pole sitter has led the race for. This time it was a Honda of O'Brien making his way through. Potential stewards inquiries. We'll have a look. There was definitely contact as both cars tried to make their way through. It did look like Ricci was trying to go for the cutback, but the door was swiftly closed and contact ensued. But it is O'Brien who will say thank you very much indeed. As I say, at 3.4 seconds down on the leader. He now finds himself with a 1 second gap over previously race leader Evan Cairns, although Ricci, as I say, led the race temporarily as himself and Cairns made contact until O'Brien cruised his way through, this time up into the mine shaft. Very different proposition from the previous race. O'Brien, Ricci, Cairns, Nathan now within 1.3 seconds as well, and he has still got Jake Rose doing his best to get more positions back. Coleman Corkery as well, all over the back of Dean Power still. These two looking at battle, and Gav Taylor has been overtaken again by Rafa Scullion, so we've missed a couple of overtakes there. I'm going to get my books, but the overtake had already been done at this point then. So great battle in between these two. Hopefully some of that's been caught on the highlights. We're still watching the rest of the field. Sepp Mielchin no longer with us. DeLuca disqualified. Zatek in 20th. McSweeney in 19th. Scuoto in 18th. You have Tusik no longer in the race. Oh no, he is in the race. 16th place. Takar in 17th. Brighton in 15th. Galamini in 14th. Then it is Revelation in 13th with Mulan in 12th. Then Taylor and Scully in 10th and 11th. Paskin in 9th. Corkery and Power 7th and 8th. Lingard is in 6th place. Jake Rose Still in fifth. Looking to get himself into fourth. It is Nathan. Still in that fourth place. Then it's Cairns, Ricci and O'Brien leading the way. Getting very close to the final lap. I thought we could catch that replay of another overtake there, but we've just missed it. And we are on to the final lap. And it is still Cairns, Ricci and O'Brien that are battling out for the lead of the race at the moment. The ball firmly in O'Brien's court. Ricci still with the fastest lap of the race to his name. But it is not going to do him any good. And in fact, I believe that Cairns is back ahead of him. He is indeed. We're not going to jump on the replay for that one. I'm not sure if Ricci gave him the position back or if Cairns got the overtake. But if we jump on the replay, we will miss Nigel O'Brien crossing the line comfortably into the start of Sector 3. He is coming towards Cheetah and then Ngawi. There's Z-Tech just ahead of him. So he will, he's already 2 laps down, but coming into the final corner, the BMW Z-Tech gets himself out of the way, and it is Nigel O'Brien for Wiz Motorsport, very closely followed by his teammate Evan Cairns. There's going to be 2 tenths separating the two podium drivers across the line. It's O'Brien in first, Cairns in second, and Roberto Ricci finishing in third place. Nathan getting himself fifth. Jake Rose in sixth. Lingard comes across the line in seventh, with Dean Power in eighth. Colin Corkery in eighth position. Paskett in ninth, and Rafa Scullion having a great battle with Taylor right down to the very last corner, and it's Scullion that gets himself into the top 10. With Taylor close in behind in 11th. Mullen, got himself 12th. It is Big Revelation in 13th place. Gallimini is going to cross the line in 14th, with Brian coming home in 15th position. Round the last corner in the Wiz Motorsport Ferrari. Then it is Yev Tusek. He's got a close train of cars behind him. He's going to get himself a beautiful 16th there with Takar and Scuoto not far behind the 17th and 18th. And McSweeney will cross the line in 19th position. But it is massive congratulations to Nigel O'Brien. What a race that was. Non-stop action. That has quickly jumped over again, and this is frozen. Right, okay, so yeah, we didn't quite there. The results have gone. But yeah, what we do know is that it was Nigel O'Brien that won, Evan Cairns in second place, and championship leader Roberto Ricci coming home in third position. So the 3 drivers at the top of the championship. At the start of the race, it was Ricci at the top of the table, Cairns in second, and O'Brien in third. So by virtue of the fastest lap, Ricci will remain ahead of O'Brien, but it is Evan Cairns who should be sat atop of the championship next week. For the start of round number 3, yeah, just doing some quick maths in my head. Could you hear the gears grinding? For next week, it will be Misano, another one of my favourite tracks. Definitely another one that lends itself to some good overtaking and some solid high-speed action. So we'll look forward to that one next week. As I say, there will be a 1-week break after the Misano race, when we will return on the 4th of April for Watkins Glen, then Donington and the Nürburgring. So season 3 well and truly underway. Now we've got 2 rounds under our belt. Oh yeah, no problems at all, Raf. All good, mate, all good. But yeah, we'll get the standing sorted for next week. But yeah, all good. The results will be on there. Remember, if you're enjoying the racing that you're seeing, why wouldn't you? Jump on to Wiz Motorsports Discord. It's in their About page on the Twitch channel. Thank you very much to everyone that watched this evening. Hope you enjoyed the action as much as I did, and are salivating at the prospect of what we have on display next time out at Misano. It's certainly going to be a case of the Cairns, Ricci and O'Brien show if the first 2 races are anything to go by. So make sure you get those alarm clocks set, get that follow button, switch your notifications on so you don't miss any of the action. And until then, have a great rest of your evenings, stay safe, take it easy, and have a good night. Good night.